What's up, guys? Welcome back to another brand new episode of Have You Found Your Crown, specifically episode 8, season 1. Today's episode is titled, What Wearing Golly Really Means. I really wanted to get specific within the brand and get specific about my brand and my meaning and the purpose of me creating. I wanted this to be a point of reference and a channel where not only people within fashion, clothing, and design but creative people, business people of all type could come and get gems and come, just get some basic information behind branding, marketing, promotion, curating. It's just so many. Um, with today's what wearing golly really means to me, I want to get behind, today's theme will be the brand philosophy. And I don't think a lot of people understand the philosophy, but the philosophy behind branding. I think they understand what a brand is, but they don't understand what branding means and how important that is. So today we're going to break down the meaning behind my brand saying, cultivate the mind and conquer the heart, and the purpose of me creating this. And like I said, what is the real defining message behind that? Next, we're going to get into Have You Found Your Crown? Which is not only a brand new series, as you can see, but it's also something that I'm curating through my brand and from which roots that I've already planted. And I'm hoping to continue to grow. You got to always have checkpoints and growth points within your branding, within your business that you continue to grow from. Last but not least, I'm going to get into why I created the brand. And I think that is something that we always need to have in mind and something that we need to really have defined within the meaning of why we create and why we do what we do. If anything, I want people to understand that this brand was never just about clothing. And Gali is something much bigger. And the vision is only continuing to grow. And I'm only going to continue to have room and leave room to grow. So yeah, let's get into this episode. I'm excited about it for sure. So today's episode 8, season 1, what wearing godly really means. Like I said in the intro, this isn't just going to be specifically uh, about, just the brand godly, but I want it to be because that has been my experience and that is my experience within business, marketing, and branding. Although I've worked with many other brands, many other shops, and many other stores, it's nothing like your own. And so what I like, what I said I wanted the theme of today's show to be about was brand philosophy. And then when we break down brand philosophy, we got to understand that brand, a brand is different from branding. You could come up with a logo, you could come up with a dope saying and all of these things, but the branding behind it is what's going to get the messages, what's going to get the logo out there. And you have to keep that in mind. You always want your business and your purpose all to align with one another, even down to color schemes. That is super important. People don't even understand the science of colors and how certain colors can make certain people feel. Um, so these are the things that you want to keep in mind. And like I said, when it comes to branding and a brand, there's a lot that needs to go within the success of it. Now, one of the main things that when I created Godly, I always said that I wanted was a dope saying. Some of my favorite brands, most of my favorite brands, that's one common thing that I've seen when I do my market research, is there's always some type of saying or tagline that aligns with the brand and that associates with the brand. And that keeps a refined image in people headspace. And you have to want to live in people headspaces. Some of the dopest jingles, some of the red for Coca-Cola, you understand when people see certain things, they think of certain brands. For me, with Gali, one of the main things, cultivate the mind, conquer the heart, right? I wanted that to be seen not only on, the tags and the bags and things like that, but even within my messaging, within the marketing that we push on social medias, the marketing that we push on our websites, the marketing that we push in our video recaps of our live events and things like that. What is your brand message? What is your brand saying? And you have to be consistent with that. See, people got to learn to trust you. Even think about your own self. How much does it take for you to actually trust a brand? For you to actually stick with the brand, to start to spend your money with the brand? It's you to start to see it consistently, see it everywhere. One of the greatest examples of that is Apple. Every time you see an Apple product, you see that half-bitten apple on the back. You automatically know what it is. I wanted the brand Golly, cultivate the mind, conquer the heart. I wanted to make you think, and I wanted to make you feel. So whatever collection is put out, whatever style, design, message, meaning, in some way, form, or fashion, it's designed and curated with your heart and your mind in mind. You know, I always wanted to leave an impression within, whether it's a logo, whether, like I said, it's a color or the actual storytelling or meaning behind the collections. I always figured since a young person understanding marketing that people have to leave with something. And that's not always physical. And I learned that over time. But people have to leave with something in order for whatever you're trying to sell or whatever you're trying to put into this world to be impactful. It has to be memorable. It has to be something that can, like I said, live in people's head spaces. So when we think of marketing, when we think of business, when we think of branding, these are things that you want to curate within whatever you have going. Make it dope. Make it something cool. Make it something impactful, something memorable. That's super important. Super important. I realized once I started the Cultivate the Mind, Conquer the Heart, it really helped me align not only the designs, but the meaning and reasoning behind my brand and where I wanted to go. So I would say if you don't have a tagline, if you don't, and it's not necessarily a tagline, but if you don't have something that you can align, a message, a meaning, a promise, something you can align your logo with, your logo will just kind of live in a dead space. These are all things are accumulative, excuse me, to your success. Have you found your crown? Now, this is something that I've developed over time from Cultivate Your Mind and Conquer Your Heart. And what I figured was I wanted to create something that I can pour into people daily, something that I didn't want people just to feel like I was just trying to sell them clothes or sell them things. That's very important to me because even for myself, when I'm dedicated or when I'm supportive with the brand, more than likely they have put out a message or put out something that have aligned with my vision or aligned with my way of thinking. And it makes me feel like, oh, okay, I don't mind supporting. Oh, okay, I don't mind buying into that. And that's something that I wanted to create within Golly, like-minded individuals. It's not just about fashion. It's just not about the style. It is. It always starts with that first, but it's much more than that. And I think that is super important within the ideology, excuse me, your ideas that you put within your brand and that you put within marketing. Having a little mind fart, excuse me. But like I said, it's super important that when I started the Have You Found Your Crown series, and I'm also starting some new things on the website, what was going to be the real meaning and purpose behind that? And I think I wanted Golly and the logo and the brand to be something recognizable to giving back, something recognizable to not just trying to sell you, not just, I wanted to bring you into Golly world to make you a part of it, not bring you into the world just to take some money and push you out. And I think that's big for brands and logos and imaging and things like that. That's super important because at the end of the day, you don't want people to walk away, you know, from supporting you and feeling like they just walked away with the item. You want them to walk away feeling good that they supported something, like I said, that either aligns with some form of fashion of how they think, how they walk, how they act, how they talk. These are important. These are, like I said earlier, the theme of this show being brand philosophy. These is the market research that you need to do within your proper market. If you're into plumbing, look at other plumbing businesses. What are their promises? What are they putting out there? What about their brand or what about their logo is making people call them, making people? It's a lot of plumbers. It's a lot of restaurants. It's a lot of clothing brands. So what are you, or what about your business sticks out? What makes you unique? And I think within breaking down and understanding your brand, that is the main and should be your main focal point. What makes your brand stand out? And I'll admit, even within Gali, that is something that I'm continuing to grow and continuing to try to understand and figure out myself. I feel that I'm there within my purpose. I'm there within the designs within a sense, you know. Um, Dealing with clothing and dealing with fashion is something that's always evolving and revolving. So, your mind and your ceiling should always be open with that. But as far as the genuine meaning and purpose behind the brand, that should be solidified, set in stone. So when I come up with things, cultivate the mind, conquer the heart, have you found your crown? These are things to be here forever. And that's another thing. Stop getting in the race, wanting to be so fast with what you have going. Stop. Remember, this is a marathon and you got to keep going to the end. Why do you create your brand? Why did you create your business? Why did you create your logo? What is the real meaning, purpose? Like I said, within Gali, I'm still finding that purpose, and every day I'm living within that purpose. But I know that it's to give back. I know that it's to create with meaning, to have style, to have fashion, to have like-minded individuals, to put positivity and purpose within clothing and fashion. When I was coming up, especially in the height of streetwear, that was one thing I loved about brands, and one thing I loved about the marketing and just the whole game. It had individualism in it. It had meaning in it, you know. And I think it's still there in a sense, but there's a lot of like-minded, like designed things. And so, like I said, within my brand, within Gali, I wanted to create where you can come in as an individual. And yeah, we may buy the same pair of socks, but the type of people that we're going to rock them different. So, like I said, your meaning and your purpose should be set in stone. It should be understood. You cannot put a successful brand out into this world if you don't know these things. And you have to remember that these are things that will always continue to evolve and always change. So you always want to have that ceiling high. You never want to put a roof, but you have to have a foundation where you can start from. And this is super, super important. And these are things that when it comes to your branding, when it comes to your marketing and putting your brand out there, that will help you stay aligned and help you stay consistent, because people will be looking at that. Your potential customers, your potential buyers, the people that's looking to get into your brand, invest into your brand, or just be curious about it. The consistency of it. How did that brand make others feel? Keep that in mind. People are only going to walk away talking about you if they felt good. They'll walk away talking about you if they felt bad too, but that won't work out for your business now, will it? So these are all of things that you want to keep in mind when you're curating your projects, when you're curating your designs, when you're curating your events. Now, no, you can't please everybody, but there is a thing of market research. There is a thing of seeing success, seeing what works. And a lot of times we don't want to do that. We don't want to put that proper work in. Even myself, I felt victim to that. And I do feel like I'm behind way more than where I could be if I took these proper steps. And that's another reason why I wanted to start this series and why I wanted to put these things out there, because I feel like I be having so much up here to say, but I just don't always have the proper platforms. But I figured, why not just put it out there within me learning and growing myself? so you can see in real time success. I really feel that branding and marketing and having purpose and having drive is so important today, and pushing for individualism and pushing for people to, continue to be themselves. Um, and so if within any business you have, that should be, I feel, the main thing pushed and seen. And I definitely hope that people, when they come into this world of godly, they walk away with that and walk away with a feeling of feeling good and understanding who they are. Godly, the brand, was never just clothing. I think it was always made to be way more. And I haven't even gotten or solidified all of those things, but I know that as far as when it comes to media, when it comes to fashion and design, when it comes to purpose, the brand is there. It is growing. And as long as I continue to find my purpose, continue to keep people in mind, like this brand is, you know, it's ours and it's our my team's, but it's a brand of the people for real, and it has the people in mind. And I think all business should be businesses and brand of the people and of the consumers and of the supporters, as it's super huge. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Like always, I hope you're able to take away some notes. And if not, come back. These are made to live. You may have to watch it more than once to really get some things, gems. Make sure to like and subscribe. Please comment. I got 2 more episodes for this season, and we'll be wrapping up season 1. Season 2 is going to definitely have a lot more production and things into it. But like I said, we're going to continue to grow. This is in real time growth for me as well. And like always, I appreciate you guys for checking out another episode of Have You Found Your Crown? I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.